All right, everyone, let's jump into our guitar lesson for today. Today, we're going to do two things. We're going to learn about cheater chords in the key of G, and then we're also going to learn some basic finger picking techniques. So, first of all, cheater chords in the key of G. What's the point of these? Why am I teaching you a new set of chords in a key you've already learned? Well, yes, you have learned G, C, D, E minor. I'm going to teach you an alternate chording technique for these four chords. They're called cheater chords because they're a little easier to play. In fact, a lot of people will just learn these and get a capo and not bother learning more guitar. I think that's a bad idea, which is why I've taught you a bunch of other things first. But hopefully this will be a nice break from the bar chords we've been working on, which are a lot of work and really difficult. These are the opposite. Once you get it down, and once your pinky gets over hurting a little bit from not moving, I think these sound really great. A lot of people who do worship leading will use these chords a lot. I use these chords a lot. Kirk uses these chords a lot. So I think they'll help you out. So here's how you make them, okay? Your third and fourth fingers on your chording hand, your left hand will never move with these four chords. They stay in the same spot. That's kind of why they're cheater chords, because only your first and second finger do all the work. So your pinky fingers is going to go on the third fret of the bottom E string. Third fret, bottom E string. Your ring finger, your fourth finger, is going to go right above it on the third fret of the B string, second string up from the bottom. So fingers 3 and 4, those do not move, okay? Next up, let's do a G. For the G, your second finger, your middle finger, is going to go on the third fret of the top string, the E string. And your first finger is going to go on the second fret of the string right below it, the A string. And if you look at that, this looks exactly like the top of a regular G, but you're just using different fingers to do that top, and then your third and fourth fingers are down there. Now all these chords are going to sound similar because they all have that high note. So let me just show you all the chords real quick, and you can see how they sound maybe a little different from the normal versions, and then we'll work on doing them. So G, C, D, E minor. So if you look at what I'm doing, I'm just moving my 1 and 2 fingers. I'm never moving my 3 and 4 fingers. So we've learned a G. Looks like this. Now let's do a C. Very simply, you take these 2 fingers and you just drop them 1 string each. So it'll look like that. Your third finger goes on the third fret of the A string, the second string down. Your first finger, your pointer finger, goes on the second fret of the D string, the third string down from the top. That's your C. And if you can, you want to mute that bottom E string. So I usually do that with my thumb. You can also just aim well and not hit that E string when you strum. That's our C, okay? So we have G, C. And by now, your ring finger and your pinky finger might be hurting on their ends. And that's okay, that's normal. When you first start learning these chords, these fingers are going to get a little sore, a little fast, because they're pressed down the whole time and they don't move, so it feels a little bit worse. But once you get used to it, I think you'll really like these chords. So we have G, C. So if you go back to that G shape, the E minor is really easy to find from there. It's actually technically an E minor 7. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your second finger and tuck it right underneath your first finger. So it looks like this. So real quick, your first finger goes on the second fret of the A string, the second string down. Your second finger goes on the second fret of the D string, the third string down. And then remember, fingers 3 and 4 don't move. They stay there on the third fret of the bottom B and E strings. So that's our E minor. The last chord we're going to learn in these cheater chords is a D, which you actually already know. It's a D suspended. So your first finger is going to go on the second fret of the G string, and then your second finger is not going to do anything. I mean, if you want, you can put it in this proper position, and you can do some hammer-ons and pull-offs, but just for the sake of what we're doing, just leave it like this. This is one where you need to aim your strumming because you want the D string to be the lowest note you hear. So if we go back to like a song we've already learned, like Mighty to Save, here's what it sounds like with these cheater chords. It goes C, G, E minor, D, okay? Down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. So I think these chords sound really nice all together. Now, a couple quick notes. This only works in the key of G, okay? So, a couple quick notes. This only works in the key of G, okay? If you're playing the key of C, don't do these cheater chords. C, G, A minor, F. Don't try and do this G when you're playing the key of C. Why? Because these cheater chords all have, it's called a droning note. It's a note that you hear all over again. That's that pinky. And that is, what is it? It's a G. E, F, F sharp, G. So you're basically playing a high G over every other chord. You're playing a G with a C. You're playing a G with a high C, a high G in it. You're playing a C with a high G in it. Playing an E minor with a high G. You're playing a D with a high G. So that high G works if you're in the key of G, but it doesn't work if you're in the key of C. It sounds more awkward and weird, okay? So these cheater chords are just for the key of G. I think they work great, and I'm excited for you to practice them. They're also in the song we're learning this week. It's called Battle Belongs. I'm actually going to do a separate video with Janelle and talk through that song, so we won't focus on that yet. But the chorus of that song sounds really good. When I fight, I'll fight on my knees with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you and every. So you see, C, G, D, E minor. I'm just moving these fingers. The third and fourth fingers stay the same. All right. If that was confusing, you can go back and rewatch. Now we're going to jump into the next part of our lesson, which is to learn basic picking. Basic picking. So first, some fundamentals. Give your fingers a break, okay? Stop chording. We'll just leave everything open for now. This is all related to your right hand. So first thing with picking is you want to be precise with your picking. You don't want to be all over the place. To help you be precise, I have two pieces of advice. Number one, you want to use your pinky as an anchor on the guitar. You're going to put your pinky down. And where are you going to put it? You're going to put it in a spot where it feels natural for you and you're able to pick individual strings and still have your pick centered over the sound hole, okay? So don't put your pinky over here. See how that sounds like twangy? Or over here. You want to put your pinky in a spot that will let your pick hit right over the center of the sound hole on the strings, okay? So when you pick, that's what we do. Pinky is our anchor. Pinky holds our hand steady. Now, I find it easy to just use my finger and my thumb. When I strum, I use two fingers. When I pick, I switch to one finger. Now, you can try this either way. Some people like two fingers even when they pick. That's fine. I just find it easier to actually do one finger when I pick. So experiment that, see what works for you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a set pattern. We're going to hit certain strings over and over again. And the pattern I want to teach you is just four notes. We're going to hit the bass note, which might change, but it's going to be one of the top three strings. We're going to hit the bass note. So for practicing, let's just do the top E string. Bass note, G, E, B. That's our pattern. Bass, G, E, B. When I say G, E, B, I'm talking about the third string up from the bottom string, and then the second string up from the bottom. So to make it easier, if you don't remember all the names of the strings, I'll call it bass, 3, 1, 2. Bass, if you count 1, 2, 3. It's bass note, and then 3, 1, 2. Bass, 3, 1, 2. That's the basic pattern we're going to learn. We're going to use that pattern later with a bunch of different chords, and it's going to sound really cool. So again, bass, G, E, B, or bass 3, 1, 2. Okay? Now practice that a few times. You can just pause the video, practice that a few times. And then the next thing you need to work on is not just hitting those particular strings, but you want to do it a particular way. You want your pick to go down on the string the first time, up on the string the second time, down, then up. So when you're picking through it, it's not just bass, G, E, B. Simultaneously, you're picking down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now, this is really important for later on, but we want to get our good habits established now. Later on, when you're picking and you're trying to pick really, really fast, you can pick only so fast if you're only doing downs or ups, right? You can only go so fast if you're just going down, 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 down. Now listen how much faster you can pick if you go down, up. You can go way more quickly if you have taught your fingers to go down and up instead of just down, 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 down. So we're gonna go one more time. Bass, G, E, B, or bass 3, 1, 2. Bass 3, 1, 2. Down, up, down, up. Bass, G, E, B, picking down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Bass, 3, 1, 2. Bass, 3, 1, 2. All right. If that was too tough or I moved too fast, you can pause. You can just rewind back to the point where I started talking about picking. But what I want to do next is put this to the chords in the song we're learning, because this pattern with picking works really well for the chorus of Battle Belongs. So it sounds like, when I fight, I'll fight on my knees with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. And I know that was fast. You're going to have to slow it way down when you practice it, but I just wanted to show you that's the goal. That's the pattern I'm playing, the one that you're practicing, bass, G, E, B. So let's work through it chord by chord and we'll slow it down, okay? We're going to start with our cheater C chord. So again, fingers on the third fret, okay? Third and fourth fingers on the third fret of the bottom two strings. Third finger, fourth finger on the B and E strings. For our C chord, we're going to put our second finger on the third fret of the A string, second string down. First finger on the second fret of the D string, the third string down. Okay, that's our cheater C. Okay, now we're going to pick through it. Bass, G, E, B. In this case, the bass is the C, which is on the A string. So the second string down is going to be what we're going to start with. Bass, G, E, B. Okay, then we're going to take this shape and move it up one string for our G. Now our bass is the G on the top E string, okay? Bass, G, E, B. Okay? Our next note is the D. So that's where our first finger moves down to the second fret of the G string. And our bass note for the D is the D string, the third string down from the top. So bass, G, E, B, and then our E minor 7, or E minor we'll just call it. For the E minor, the E is the bass, okay? So first finger, second fret of the A string, second finger right beneath it, second fret of the D string. Bass, G, E, B. And then that repeats over and over again. So when I fight, whoops, I messed up. Let's try it again. C. When I fight, I'll fight on my knees with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you, and every fear I lay at your feet, I'll sing through the night. All right. That's what you're going to practice. And then you can, if you get tired of picking through that and you feel like it's too slow, you can just go back to normal strumming and work on the song that way. All right, guys, those are the two things I wanted to teach you today. Cheater chords in the key of G and basic picking. Please work on that. I'll attach the song here. And if Janelle and I can get it recorded, I'll also record a how to play this song and how to sing along to it that you can play and sing along to. All right, keep up the good practice, guys.